Aloha everyone. So today I just wanted to come on here to talk about a topic or an energy that's been coming up a lot in my reality. That's the energy of the Gemini card in tarot, which is the lovers, and it's the gender roles that we have in this reality that we're living in this plane of existence. So everybody talks about the law of attraction in like the new age spiritual community, and law of attraction is actually a part of the principle of correspondence, which is one of the 7 hermetic principles, which is one of the 7 universal truths of God and down to this physical dimension. It's following these 7 hermetic principles, and one of them is the principle of gender. Masculine and feminine are the 2 dualities, that are the 2 poles. And if you think about everything in existence as a computer program or something that is being written out in the mind of God, the Akashic records, in its most simplified form of symbols, it's going to be binary coding, which is 0s and 1s. So if you think about the principle of gender, 0 would be the yoni and the 1 would be the lingam. These are the 2 polar truths that exist in this reality, and it exists in all dimensions from source to where we are right now. So the principle of gender is what I want to talk about today. If we look at relationships in general in the spiritual community, I guess people say that the highest level of it is the twin flame relationship, and I've been learning so much from my own twin flame journey in terms of, so past 2 years or so, I've been in union, even though it's long distance, with my twin flame, and just what he's teaching me. So a question that comes up a lot in terms of spirituality and dating and relationships is, should the man or the woman lead in the relationship? And in my astrological perspective, I just want to say that men should lead in the physical plane, because if you look at the astrological zodiac wheel, Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. It's ruled by Mars. That's masculine energy. It's fire. So astrology, the wheel from the houses of 1 through 12, it represents the cycles of life that we all have to evolve through, from birth to death, from 0 to 1. And it maps out how light is manifested in this dimension. So if we look at everything and how it happens in cycles, that's what the planets are marking on in this physical plane. So the energy of the planets is traveling to us, to where we are right now, and that's how it's influencing us, because we're made of the same matter as like carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, hydrogen. We're made from stars. So the first sign of the zodiac is Aries, and the final sign when you evolve through your entire life cycle and you're getting ready to return to spirit is Pisces. That's the last house of the zodiac, and Pisces is feminine. It's ruled by Neptune. It's the yin energy. It's the mutable waters emerging and returning. What astrology is saying about this physical dimension is that the masculine energy is what allows for the physical reality to be manifested. And Pisces being the last sign, what that represents is that when we return, everything is going to be returned to the feminine anyways. So light is the yang energy, it's the masculine, and darkness is the yin energy, the feminine, and that's where everything came from in the beginning. So 0s and 1s, like the womb and the phallus. So this is why I'm not a feminist, because Margaret Sanger, the person who created feminism or the feminist movement in the United States, or the racist lady who originally called it the Negro Project, and she was a eugenicist. She was a racist and a eugenicist. Those two are the things that you don't want together, because it's like Nazi Germany, which is why NASA is like founded by Nazi German scientists. That's kind of old news, like the moon landing. So I am not a feminist, because feminism is an agenda that was started by white women during the time of segregation, and they were trying to make themselves the victim and bring attention to something that doesn't need attention. Because okay, we can complain about the political system, women getting paid on average lower wages than men and all that stuff. You know, I used to be all bought into that, but now I realize like it's all a war on gender, and if they can keep the 2 genders divided, then we can't procreate the new reality, because it's like a triangle. You have the feminine, you have the masculine, and then you have the union creates the new earth. So it's like you gotta fuse the 2, where 1 + 1 = 3. that's what we're doing right now. It's not about trying to divide the two and try to like compete to get there faster. It's like when one gets there, the other one automatically gets there, because the masculine and the feminine are spiraling around each other like the Kundalini snakes. Feminism is also created the same way that the LGBTQ movement, in order to not only confuse people, well, it's definitely there to confuse people, because men aren't trying to be at the same level. Women aren't supposed to be trying to be at the same level as men. They gotta work on their own powers, and men gotta develop their own powers. And then that's when you increase the vibration with the two poles, like increase the wavelength that we're operating on. So if women are trying to go to where men are, you're literally creating a smaller current. Like, you're creating death. And because energy and motion, like protons and electrons too, is where the principal agenda is, down to an atomic level as well as a much bigger universal level. So if you're trying to make light, if you're trying to make everything in this reality light, then it's not going to exist anymore. If you're trying to make everything in this reality dark, it's not going to exist anymore. I just don't understand why women are, like feminists, are just being so masculine and trying to compete with men when they don't realize this is all a part of the whole damn thing. They're trying to put us at war with ourselves so that, you know, we can ascend to our highest potential. So really, it's just about balancing the two within. You combine the two powers, like the two poles, and bring them together, that's when it's exalted to break out of the system of this illusion of duality. In the physical realm, men should lead. In the spiritual realm, naturally, women are going to lead. If you're talking about submitting to a man or letting the man lead, it doesn't mean that you're being weakened. It means that you know your place. It's in the complete opposite of the man's, you know. I personally don't want to be dealing with a lot of the physical things, like getting gas in my car and stuff. There's just certain things that, you know, women should use their power for other things rather than doing shit in the physical plane, you know. Like, we're more spiritually tuned in, the spiritual chakras, and the men are the physical chakras. So we gotta combine the two to meet at the heart, and that's where New Earth is, okay? We're gonna be in a completely different reality by then. It's just a matter of staying aligned and balancing the genders in our body, because in order to fly your vehicle, your light ship, your Merkaba, you gotta have the two balanced. You can't be just all in your feminine, you know. If you're smoking pot all day, which is a very feminine plant, is making you so stuck in your feminine that is not helping anything. That's all I wanted to share today. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments, and yeah, thanks for tuning in.